What's good, Z Nation? First off, before I get into anything, I want to thank y'all for the 25 monthly listeners on my Spotify. I'm horrible at promoting my Spotify and never even think to look at it. And I just got curious like an hour ago, pulled it up, looked, so I got 25 monthly listeners. So I want to thank y'all for that. Y'all are awesome. If you want to go check it out, then it's TPZ Walker. I'll try to get the link and put it in the description. But I'm kind of filling my description up, so it might be the first comment, but the pinned comment. Also, I got a bug zapper, so it's flashing. I hope y'all can't see that. I think you can barely. There we go. Now you shouldn't be able to. Anyways, hopefully it don't mess with y'all. I gotta fix the light, I guess. I don't know what it's doing. But if you see me jump out of my skin and hear it pop, then that's what it is. It's already got me 3 times, so. But, no more flies. So that's a plus. And lastly, before we get into this, I hurt my back today, so if you see me get up and just walk around or something, that's why. It is absolutely killing me to sit down right now. But, I have no idea what I did, but I need to figure out what it was so I can not do that again. But yeah. Let's get on into this. I was going to react to Finland, or no, somewhere close to my boy DK, and couldn't find anything, so we're going with this. And I like her. She's awesome. So let's get on into this. Hold up. Let me double check. Make sure I did flip that, because I recorded one earlier. And didn't flip it. I did. Okay. I'm a little slow at looking. I'm tired too. Let's go.
London, London, London. London is my former home. I loved it. I lived there for 8 years before moving over to Toronto, and I miss her. London is one of the oldest cities in the world, so it makes sense that there are a whole bunch of urban legends in the ancient old town. Join me, your most amazing host Rebecca Felgate, as we talk about what may or may not be haunting ye olde city. Before we trot into this video, I just want to ask you guys to let me know what city you live in and whether you know of any local legends.
Anyone notice that her hair outline is green? That green screen, her whole body outline, that green screen is not her friend.
Leave me your thoughts in the comments section down below. Also, if you guys want to connect with me on social media, my links are in the description box. All aboard the corpse train at number 10. Back in the early 1900s, at the dawn of the age of the London Underground, back when escalators were wooden and trains were creepier, there was a decidedly scary rumour going around. A lot of people swear that there used to be a special train that transported corpses from the Royal London Hospital in Whitechapel to morgues in the city. This makes a lot of sense because not only would it have been quicker, it also would have spared Victorian-era Londoners exposure to sickness and disease. Now, the plague might not have been rife at that time, but other nasties were. Adding substance to the legend of the corpse train, a lot of people swear there's a bricked-up tunnel at Whitechapel, saying it's the old entrance to the corpse train route. On top of that, there is also an abandoned station nearby called St Mary's on Whitechapel Road. Anyway, a lot of people think that the lost souls on board the corpse train still haunt Whitechapel station. Whitechapel, man, it was a spooky area. It was also the old stomping ground of Jack the Ripper. Speaking of Jacks, we've got another Jack at number 9. We've got Spring-Heeled Jack. Do we like a leaping demon? No, we don't.
Yeah,
Say
sure.
it with me now. This
YOLO.
beastie was an urban legend back in Victorian-era London. Why they needed urban legends when they had legit killers and nasty illnesses, I don't know. But hey, those Victorians needed to get their rocks off somehow. Reports of Spring-Heeled Jack popped up in 1837 amid a spate of weird attacks around Clapham Common. Mary Stevens was walking to Lavender Hill through the park when a figure leapt out at her. He kissed her and ripped off her clothes with claws. Mary described him as cold and clammy. The girl's screams caused the man-like creature to spring away. The next day, a man fitting the attacker's description was seen jumping in front of a carriage, causing it to crash. He then reportedly escaped by jumping over a 9-foot wall whilst laughing, garnering him the name Spring-Heeled Jack in the media. The light-footed devil was officially recognised by the Lord Mayor of London on the 9th of January 1838. Further sightings and reports cropped up in newspapers, including a much publicised attack on the 19th of February. This attack happened on 2 women, and one described him as vomiting blue and white flames while his eyes resembled red balls of fire. Goodness gracious. My favourite is the 1867 illustration of the devil. It's pretty good. Now, the devil seemed to move from London up to the northwest of England. He was last spotted in Liverpool in 1904. Coming into number 8, we have the sad tale of the crying girl at King's Cross Station. This is a very, very sad tale indeed, but some say King's Cross Station is haunted by the spirit of a crying young woman. On the evening of the 18th of November 1987, there was a truly horrifying fire on the Piccadilly line escalator at King's Cross rail station. At this time, the escalator was made of wood, and the grease under the contraption made it a fire hazard waiting to ignite. And ignite it did. A match was dropped down the side of the escalator, spreading a major blaze that burned so hot the ticket office floor melted.
Hold up. Okay. So you have something that's very flammable, that's already a fire hazard, and you light a match on it? That's like holding a fire next to gas and saying it's not gonna combust. Were y'all thinking okay with this one?
And collapsed. 31 people brutally died in the blaze, with a further 100 injured. Those who died did so horribly. They say that a traumatic death is a ghost maker, and 31 people had just that. This spirit of the crying woman is the most regularly spotted ghost in St Pancras. In 1998, a man spotted a distressed woman crying into her hands. When he went over to ask if she was okay, he passed straight through her. This is just one of many sightings of the crying girl. Some say they've seen a woman with long brown hair screaming with her arms outstretched, and when they go to assist her, she simply isn't there. Now, I've been through that area of the building several times, and there's a little memorial to the victims, which is very sweet. I've never seen a ghost, but I have to admit there is a kind of stomach-wrenching sadness that fills me every time I walk down that corridor. Coming into number 7, we have the Phantom Bus. Around Cambridge Gardens in Ladbroke Grove, there is a rogue number 7 bus that haunts the streets at 1:15 AM. A night bus. Hands up all the night bus warriors of London town out there. Oh my god, the night bus. In the days before the late night tube, the night bus was the only way to get home, and honestly, it was a pretty savage place to be at 1 AM. Anyway, I digress. The only savage in this story is the Phantom Bus. The otherworldly apparition came about in 1930 when it caused a nasty accident. A driver was motoring down the road when he swerved to avoid something oncoming. The man then crashed his car into a wall and died as his car burst into flames. Eyewitnesses say they saw a bright red London double-decker bus with the number 7 on it hurtling down the road. The dead driver swerved out of its path. Police investigated, but they found no scheduled bus at that time of night, and the area didn't have a number 7 bus on its route at all. More accidents happened in the same spot with remarkably similar eyewitness accounts. Same number 7 bus, same out of control careering down the road. Okay, I love this one at number 6. We have Sir Francis Bacon and a half-plucked chicken. This won't be the last time that Highgate is mentioned on this list. The ghost of famous English philosopher Sir Francis Bacon is said to haunt Pond Square in Highgate, North London. His ghost is accompanied by a chicken, because why not? Now, Sir Francis Bacon died after catching pneumonia when he tried to stuff a chicken with snow in the street in order to experiment with freezing as a way of preserving meat. The events of the 17th century clearly had an impact on the area, and many people have reported seeing bacon and a fowl running amok around Pond Square. Most famously, a couple in the 1970s were snogging on a bench when their kissing sesh was disturbed by a rogue chicken that seemed to disappear into a wall. Coming into number 5, we have the headless ghost of Tower Green. Tower Green is within the Tower of London, and to be honest, the ghost of the Tower of London could make up the entire 10-point list. So I'm gonna go and keep it simple with a lesser-known ghost of the castle. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Lady Margaret Pole, the 8th Countess of Salisbury. It seems her son offended King Henry VIII, but he was out of the country, so he exacted his revenge on his mother instead. Lady Pole was 70 years old at the time, which was pretty ancient in Tudor days. On her execution day, she refused to lay her head upon the block, so the executioner swung his axe at her instead. Unfortunately, instead of lopping off her head, he hit her in the shoulder. She ran around screaming and pouring blood until he finally caught her. Now, it took him 11 blows to finally finish her off, and actually, it's pretty gruesome. It's said on the anniversary of her death, May the 27th, 1541, her ghost runs around screaming around the area, enacting her last moments on Earth. Coming into number 4, we have the spirits of Epping Forest. Ooh, Epping Forest, you would not not catch me there
Lord.
alone at night. It's pretty murdery. The forest is haunted by such a large number of spooks, it's hard to pick just one. One of the more famous ghosts is Highwayman Dick Turpin, who used to use the forest as a base for his illicit activities. The ghost of the criminal, eventually hanged for his years of wrongdoing, presented himself to ghost hunter Yvette Fielding in an area he used to hide out in the forest. In the 1960s, there were reports of ghostly figures emerging from a pond in the forest near Lindsay Street. Others say a pond deeper in the forest draws in potential suicide victims, as it was once the scene of a murder-suicide between two young lovers over 300 years ago. Another spirit is said to draw cars up a road on a hill just outside the forest. Coming into number 3, we have 50 Berkeley Square. 50 Berkeley Square is supposed to be the most haunted house in Britain, let alone London. The home dates back to the late 18th century and has a very haunted attic. It is said that a young woman threw herself out of the attic window after being abused by her uncle for years. Her spirit is said to take the form of a brown mist and is capable of scaring people to death. Between 1859 and early 1870s, a recluse called Mr. Myers lived and died in the house as he went slowly mad. People who have stayed at the property, including Lord Littleton, have claimed to have seen the ghost aplenty. Littleton even shot at one once. The house was a particular focal point in the late 1800s when Mayfair magazine ran a piece about a maid who went mad and died after working at the house. Also, there were stories of 2 sailors dying emerging at the property. The property is currently the oldest unaltered building in London, and with private owners, little is known about the latest hauntings. Coming into number 2, we have the most haunted theatre in London. The stories of the Theatre Royal Drury Lane have gone on for centuries. There are so many urban legends here. Now, the theatre is the oldest theatre in London as well as being the most haunted. It's been on the same spot since the 16th century, but it has burned down twice. Now, theatres are highly emotional places and are regularly at the centre of hauntings. Drury Lane has a whole bunch of ghosts, including a mysterious man in grey, a famous clown Joseph Grimaldi, pantomime dame Dan Leno, and some say that Madame Two Swords herself sits in the aisle cradling a waxwork head. I worked in London theatres, and a number of my friends at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane had experienced the man in grey firsthand. Now, apparently, seeing him on opening night of a new show is supposed to be very good luck, and he reportedly appeared on the first night of Miss Saigon, one of the most successful musicals to ever run on the West End and Broadway. The man in grey loves the theatre and is said to regularly shush noisy patrons. The ghost of the clown is less helpful, however. He's said to kick actors on the stage. Get out of here, Grimaldi. Finally, at number 1, we have possibly the most talked about London legend. We have the urban legend of the Highgate Vampire. The Highgate Vampire is one of the most popular and credible London urban legends. Practically everyone who lives in the city or has ever lived in the city knows about it. The Highgate Vampire caused a media stir in the 1970s when there was a slew of supernatural activity in Highgate Cemetery in London. The legend started on a cold December night when occult lovers spent the night in a cemetery and glimpsed a grey figure. Since then, a spectre has been seen stalking the graveyard at night. The story goes that the occult lover awoke a sleeping spirit of a Romanian vampire. The vampire was a medieval nobleman who practiced dark magic in medieval times, and his body was brought to England in a coffin in the early 18th century and then buried in Highgate Cemetery. The story and sightings led to mass media coverage, and mobs of vampire hunters swarmed the gates of the graveyard. It seems the ghostly apparition may live on. The so-called vampire was last spotted in 2016 and was possibly caught on camera in 2012. So guys, that was the top 10 London urban legends for you. What did you think? I'm just going to read a couple of comments from one of my most recent videos, the top 10 scary Slenderman urban legends, before we get out of here. Now, I don't love Slenderman, he creeps me out, but you guys loved leaving comments.
He just wants a
The
hug.
Foxy and Bonnie channel wrote, Slender, slender, why are you a bender? Slender, slender, are you a spender? Good feedback there, thank you. Reaper said, I love your videos, can you please do a Jeff the Killer urban legends? I don't know, like I'm really freaked out. Slenderman really scared me and I don't have to worry about Jeff the Killer coming at me. Although we did do a good video on Life's Biggest Questions about it, which you should check out. Blizzy Random wrote, Rebecca, I love your fashion sense. Thanks, babe. So guys, that was this video for you. If you liked it, make sure you give it a good thumbs up. Do leave me a comment letting me know where you live and if there are any local or urban legends in your area. For now, I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. Once again, if you want to connect with me on social media, my link is in the description box down below. Share this video with a friend, but until then, have a good day. Bye.
That was wrong for most of that. Anyways, get back here, go here. My back really hurts now thanks to old Zapper. We made it to the end of the video and then I had a heart attack. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I'll try to get my Spotify in the description. I'll try to make it either the first or second. I try to keep my Discord up at the top so that way y'all can hit me up, check out my stuff. Stuff like that, because Discord's where all of my organization is if you join it. But yeah, also be sure to donate. Ha, I got it right this time. I'll be sure. If you can, donate, help me out, help keep the lights on, because it gets expensive doing this. But hope y'all enjoyed this. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. If you don't want to donate, go listen to a song. That's the same thing, just free. Alright, I'll leave y'all alone. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'll catch y'all tomorrow with my last edition of Car Wrecks. I'm going after it. Wednesdays will also be music reaction and drop day. And Saturday and Sundays are going to be music reaction slash drop slash gaming if I game. It's going to be kind of whatever I feel like doing. So definitely make sure the bell's on so that way you can catch stuff. I might react to someone you know or something, and just never know. I'm gonna be reacting to a lot of people that I'm cool with though, and that's just gonna be my weekend thing. Gaming, usually I like to jump on games with people. I'm trying to get my Streamlab to work so I can stream on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but it's telling me my YouTube is not set up for me to go live, and I have to set it up and wait 24 hours when I can turn it on and go live right now. I've done it. So I've contacted Streamlabs, I've contacted YouTube, and I've gotten nothing. So Google it is. Just give me some time to fix that. But yeah, I'll catch y'all tomorrow with last edition of Car Wrecks. Hope to see you there.